Today we've been joined by a very special WAFLW player from South Fremantle, Summer Mollross. Summer, thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Nice. Tell us a bit about yourself, what type of player you are and what got you into footy.
I started my footy career up in Exmouth, probably at the start of high school, playing with the boys. There was only a few girls playing. I started just me and Mim Strom, who's now the ruck for Freo Duckers. And I now play with her sister at South Fremantle. Played on the wing up there, then moved to Perth just to continue my footy career, and now I'm at South Fremantle.
That's good. So obviously playing some other positions, playing with Mim Strom and now playing with her sister. What's the difference between the two, and have you built a good connection with both people?
When I played with Mim, we were very young, but she was always just a star player. But Indy's just the same. She's an amazing ruck, an amazing forward. She's just a great player to play with, as was Mim.
That's good. So obviously some individual success, and as a team, a local premiership you won in 2021 for the Exmouth Eagles. How was that for you? Obviously winning a premiership at any level. I always tell people, go, oh, it's only local. They say about divisions and grades and what if it was juniors or not. A premiership's a premiership. So how was that day in the lead up for you compared to after?
Well, it was our first year. It was the first year that Exmouth had a women's comp. So to win a premiership in our first year, it was such an amazing feeling to play footy with all the mums and all the friends that I grew up with. Having a girls' team up there finally, it was a great year to win a flag.
Good. Do you recall the margin in that game?
Oh, I think we won by maybe 60 or 70 points.
Nice. So nice and cruisy the whole way through then, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's good. So how did you fare yourself individually in that game?
Well, I feel like I played pretty well. I came in late towards the season. I didn't play the whole season as I was already down in Perth. I moved up halfway throughout the year, so I only played half the season. So it wasn't really my team to play with. But so I didn't want to overstep my grounds, but all the girls there are so amazing and such great footy players that you don't really have to do much. You just pass the ball around. Everyone does their role. Everyone plays so well.
That's good. So obviously fast track to last year in the Rogers Cup, had a tight loss to East Perth in that grand final by 3 points. How was that lead up though throughout that season and also before the game compared to how it was after?
Well, round one, we had over half of our team debuting for the first time for Rogers Cup. So it was a brand new team, but throughout the year we just progressed and got closer as a team, just continued to get better and better. Throughout the season, West Perth did beat us by quite a lot throughout the season. So to go down by 3 points, winning majority of the game, it was very disheartening. My first proper WAFL grand final and losing it. But the atmosphere was up, everyone was up. Obviously not so much after the game. It was a bit upsetting, but I know it's driven the girls to push themselves a lot harder this year.
For sure. Obviously playing in that atmosphere, how was the atmosphere? Like if you compare that, say, to even the preliminary finals and even the first final, how much of a difference was it, or was it very similar to the other two finals?
The preliminary finals was everyone was up, everyone was ready. Like the atmosphere was so amazing, but grand final day, like it just nothing can compare to it. It's just everyone's nerves are up, everyone's excitement's up. Like everyone's just so hyped and ready to go, and everyone's just got the nerves, and the crowd's just so much bigger, and it's just such a great environment.
Sure. So obviously, also last year you won the Liv Hunt Award. Can you please describe what that is?
Liv Hunt was a player that played for South Fremantle. She was a diehard supporter and such an amazing player, but she unfortunately passed away from cancer. So they honoured an award dedicated to her for inspiration, determination and courage, and it's a Players Player Award. All your players in the team vote on who they reckon best describe those values, and I was very, very fortunate and lucky to receive that award.
That's good. So obviously, what would you say is your biggest strength as a footballer?
Probably my tackle pressure, my hunt for the ball, just love getting in, love getting dirty around the ball.
That's good. So obviously being at South Fremantle, how's your time been at that club?
So I moved to that club in 2022, and from my first training session there, I just instantly fell in love with the club. I travel quite far. I travel over an hour to get to training, but it's just worth it because all the girls there are so amazing, all the coaches there. Everyone's just so welcoming. The atmospheres, every single training, every single game day, it's just feels like such a family and such a great place to be.
Well, that alone, as you just mentioned, they're travelling an hour to training. Maybe part of the reason why you got that award is determination would be one and commitment would be another one to travel. Some people, won't do that type of commitment just for footy, training, games or anything. So that's testament to you for doing that.
Well, we have other girls that travel 3 to 4 hours for training sessions. So they get all the hype from me.
That's fair enough. So what are some goals you set for yourself this year and what are you going to try and get out of it this year?
Well, last year I made my debut for league in the preliminary finals. So this year I am striving to have a full-time position in the league squad this year. That's a big goal of mine, and we losing the preliminary final to East Fremantle, who won the flag. So a goal of mine is to play a game and beat East Fremantle. That's a big goal of mine, and hopefully be there and a part of the team when the girls win a flag this year.
So how was the occasion then debuting in a prelim final? A grand final would be just a bit better, but it can't get much better than that, debuting in a prelim final. It's not the nerves were there playing in a prelim, then also making your debut at league level in a prelim.
Yeah, so I got the call up the day of, so I wasn't really expecting it, and I was really nervous. Didn't know how I was going to go. Probably always, could have played better. The nerves did get a little bit of the best of me, but it was such an amazing game. The girls were so amazing on both sides, and I just loved it. Loved every minute of it.
That's good. So would you prefer getting called up to make your debut at that level, at that stage, or at any stage for that matter, more as a late in or last minute, or would you rather have the whole week to know, or do you think that would make it worse with the nerve side of things?
I do have a tendency to overthink every single game, no matter who we're playing, no matter what game it is. I do love to overthink my games a little bit. So one of me would like to say that I'd like to know before so then I could prepare myself. But then again, I probably would have overthought it way too much if I knew beforehand. So it's probably good just to get straight into it.
That's good. Who did you grow up barracking for?
I'm a die-hard Carlton supporter. Love Carlton through and through. But for the women's, I am a Freo supporter.
Nice. Now, I'm starting to get a trend now with players from Western Australia who have another club, have different for the women's and compared to the men's. So, obviously, we'll start with the men's. Obviously, Carlton men's making the prelim this year, and the way they started looked like they all stepped to a grand final, and then the complete opposite happened for the last 3 quarters. But they had a good year overall, though.
Yes, it's a tough team to back. They give you some hope, and then they just constantly make you feel like you're going to have a heart attack. But it was a great season. It was such a great season. Loved every minute of it.
Obviously, Blake Akers kicked some good goals. I think Melbourne game was one. I think he might have done 2 games in a row or something like that. Kicking some last-minute goals. That's not good for speaking of nerves and pressure, let alone playing for yourself, but even watching your own team. Gee, they would make you more nervous.
Yes, especially that going on while our games are going on. It's just so much pressure all the time. It's just, but what's a footy game if your heart's not racing 24/7?
Very true. Now the Dockers, obviously they missed out on the women's just outside of finals this year. What are your hopes and expectations for the Dockers girls this year?
Every year they just seem to be looking better and better. Can never fault them. Do hope they're gonna tear their way all the way up there and eventually will win the flag. The girls there, they just have so much potential, and you can just tell that all of them love what they do and they just strive to get better and better every single day. They just seem like they gel so well together, and I do have high hopes for them.
That's good. Any favourite teammates you got at South Freo?
Oh, that is a tough one. I am a bit. I love all the girls. Not very
Yeah.
like that, but I do. The atmosphere there is so great. But just a little shout out to Annalie. She has been my day one girl since I first started. She was my first friend at South, and we've both gone through Rogers and started our league journey this year together. So she's probably up there with one of my favourites. And our captain, she's just the best captain you could ever ask for. She leads by example. She's the loudest out there. She's just an absolute inspiration.
That's good. It's great to have someone, you know, who's obviously going into an environment for the first time in 2022, as you mentioned. It obviously can be very daunting and scary, like, you know, how to try and fit into it. That you have something you just mentioned from day one help you through everything. It makes it a bit more easier.
Yeah, it does. It really, really does.
And then, of course, the captain. You've got to be on the good side of the captain, because outside of the coach, they call the shots.
Yes, they do. I will always do my best to try and get on the best side of the captain.
That's very true. Is leadership ever been something that you've ever been a part of at any level? And is it something ever in the future, if you haven't got it already, that's something that you look into, or you're more an off role leader per se?
I was a part of the leadership group for the Rogers Cup last year. I do tend to think that I do have quite good leadership skills. I just love to get around the girls, love to hype everyone up, make sure that everyone's feeling good, everyone's ready, everyone's switched on. Every time, of course, even sometimes I need the leadership for myself. I need someone to tell me when to switch into gear. But I've always loved a leadership role. But I think South is good. Everyone we've got our leadership group with the league, but everyone kind of takes on the leadership role and just be there for everyone and just stays on.
Good. That's good. So if you were to use an AFL or AFLW play comparison to the type of play you play like, in the style, who would you say that would be?
Oh, I'd love to say who I want to be is I want to be Walshy.
Yes.
That's the type of player that I try to be like, Sammy Walsh. I've always had a very big soft spot for Sammy Walsh. He's always been one of my favourites, and I've always tried to play my footy the way that he plays footy. I just think his fight and hunger and determination for the ball is just absolutely amazing.
Well, the next question is probably going to be the exact same answer. I was just going to say, who's your favourite player to watch? So I'm going to assume it's Sam Walsh.
It is, but it is actually also Charlie Curnow. Charlie Curnow is one of my biggest idols. I do love Charlie quite a bit. He was the first AFL player that I ever met, so I always have a soft spot for him. But with the AFLW girls, I've obviously played with quite a few of them, and I just can't not idolise them, like Ariana, Heatherton, TJ, the Wakeford sisters, Mimi Strom. Like they're just such inspiration, and I do idolise them so much.
I was just going to ask you, is it so you might be Charlie Curnow, the answer here, but has there been any AFL or AFLW player interactions you've had as a fan, and ones that are pretty memorable, obviously with Charlie being the first mentioned?
Yes, I did. That was very memorable. Also getting a signed ball by Jack Silvani on my first ever Carlton game that I went and watched. He's also one of my favourites, so that was pretty memorable for me.
That's good. Was that in a Perth game, or did you travel up to one of the Melbourne games?
Perth game. I've actually never been to Melbourne before, unfortunately.
Okay. What was I going to say? So, any nicknames you get that you like or dislike at the club, or just in general?
No, just you get the off winter, spring, autumn. That everyone thinks they're funny when they say that, but get kind of used to it. Get it my whole life.
It's just I actually thought of this the other day when we knew you were coming on, and I was just going to use a gag, and now I just forgot about it until you mentioned it. So that kind of out the window. So you don't get autumn, winter, spring. Do you get any of those nicknames?
All the time.
Does it
but mainly because they know what annoys me. That's why they say it.
Just going to say, so does it? It obviously doesn't annoy you, but does it get to a point where you're just like whatever, or does it still now piss you off a bit?
It's just like I'm so used to it. It's been my whole entire life. Everyone does it, have their little giggle, think they're so original.
Yeah, think of something else. Now, name pronunciations and spelling these days some people seem to struggle. So just for the record, how do you pronounce your last name?
Mollross.
Good, and that's what I thought. Do you ever when people write your name down or they send you a message or emails or whatever, do they ever spell your name wrong or your last name wrong?
My last name gets spelt wrong all the time. Everyone thinks it's Melrose, and I don't know why, but everyone does. Fun fact about my name, it is actually supposed to be spelled SGMMAH, but when the doctor called me out, he kept calling me Summer, so my mum had to change it.
Interesting. I was just going to ask you, made us some fun facts, so that could be one. We might as well go with that then. Is there any other fun facts besides that? But that's a good one.
Maybe that I lived in a caravan for 2 years in Coral Bay.
Interesting. No, that is a fun fact. It's interesting and it's so obvious to people. So obviously, who loves the limelight, the attention, the camera at South Freo or any of the teams you've ever been a part of, and why do they love it? Do they just know where the camera is at any point?
I'm actually that person. I am the camera lover. I'm always the one to be right up in the camera. I don't know what it is. The camera just loves me as much as I love it.
That's a good one. I mean, I've got a channel, so of course I like it. But no, I love it as well. Even if it's got nothing to do with my channel and there's someone at cricket or someone I know and they're filming something, I'll always try and get in the background of it. It's fun.
Yeah, I just love it. Just gives me a little thrill and just love being a part of it. Just think it's so fun and just so entertaining. Just love being a part of the camera.
For sure. Any coaches' pets at South Freo?
Ooh. One of our girls, Sophie, she just did an ACL, but I see her as a huge coach's pet. She loves the head coach and the head coach loves her.
Good. I'm glad you're giving names because some people, the last few weeks, I don't know what is it with people recently. They don't want to mention it. I'm thinking to myself, it's okay. They're not going to hate you for it. Well, they might be not going to hate you for it. And if they do, they're not really your friend.
Oh, well, I hope they get a little kick out of it. It'll make my day a bit more enjoyable.
I mean, it'd be different from people annoying you about your name and all the nickname gags, and then you're just having it back. Fair play. So any outside of footy interests that you have?
I have recently got into tennis. Do like doing a little bit of tennis. Bit of swimming. Just started getting up golf. I'm really bad at it though, and it annoys me so much. But that's why I've kind of got a liking to it because you just got to keep going back because it's just not an easy game to pick up on.
No, I mean, I haven't done golf for a little while, not as a competition or anything, just mucking around type thing. And I always thought it was so easy, like, oh, yeah, well, if I can hit a cricket ball that far, I can hit a golf ball relatively simple. And, no, but you think I'll say 60, 70 metres today. I go, yeah, I got this. I don't even get close sometimes.
Yeah, it's like you do sideways. One good hole. You do one good hole and you're like on top of the world, then a few holes you're just playing so bad and you just puts you in the worst mood. All you need is just that one good hole at the end and then gets you right back in a good mood.
Sure. And are you one to hit the ball, like, when you have the swings, do you have those swings and misses or do you always get it first hit? No matter how accurate it is, do you always get it first hit or are you one of those that keeps missing it?
It takes me about 5 or 6 times to actually hit the ball.
Sometimes I was like that too. It looks so easy, and then you say it's so easy, and then you go and do it, and sometimes the opposite. Now, with golf, when you actually do connect on it, do you have the odd one that may sway sideways?
Yes, I do. Not as badly as my partner does, but but I does like to go or just roll along the ground about 10 meters. It's a big specialty of mine.
That's good. Now with tennis, how do you go with tennis?
I started off worse than I thought I was going to be. I also thought that was going to be a pretty easy sport to get a hold of, but it was surprisingly not as easy as I thought it was going to be. But I do enjoy it, especially day after a game, just a little movement recovery type of thing. It is something that I do like to do. I like to think that I'm not too bad at it, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't put me in a competition anytime soon.
Fair. And going back to the golf just for 1 second, I would just say for myself at least, I'll just stick to putt golf or whatever, miniature golf, whatever you want to call it. The easier, but all right at that one.
Oh, I'm good at miniature golf when it's it's on the fake grass, but as soon as it's on a real course, I just can't seem to get it right.
I know exactly. Probably because we don't have to swing hard for a miniature golf one.
Doesn't have the side barrels to stop it rolling out.
That too, yeah. You sometimes have obstacles, but again, in the real one, you have the trees. Sometimes you have lakes. Oh, actually, since of that, have you ever hit any in the water or any trees or any obstacles like that?
I do get a few lost in the trees, but I'm lucky I haven't lost any in the lake just yet.
Well, that's good. That's one good thing then, I suppose. What's something someone does at the club that you cannot stand, whether that's leaving rubbish around, just being flat out annoying, trying to scare people, anything like that?
No, I don't actually think that there is.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I actually can't think of anything.
That's good.
That's gonna be a new thing that I'm gonna start thinking about now when I'm at training. What's the little things that actually do annoy me?
Sure, that's one thing. Definitely now to keep an eye on for. So obviously, then you haven't had in the AFLW. I've seen a lot, especially the Sydney girls. That they post it more, not just the club, but individually. I see them post it all the time. Like every week, they seem to intentionally want to get a scare victim. And going off some of the videos that they've publicly shown, at least, they've legitimately scared the shit out of people big time. I've seen some people jump off the seats, drop their food, and I would assume it's really staged. But yeah, pretty cool. Well, not if you're a victim of it.
Oh, I think it's the most funniest thing ever. Jump scaring people it's probably one of my favorite things. It's so funny every single time.
So have you nailed any victims, Summer, for that?
Not at the club, but I do love doing it to my parents. I do think it's a really funny thing to do to your family. It's just they get so really annoyed with it, and it just makes it so much more funnier how annoyed they get from it.
Like why they keep doing it, so they've got to pretend they don't care about it. Make it obvious. Keep on acting probably. Favorite TV shows or movies or anything like that?
I am a huge Gossip Girl fan. I will watch that on repeat to the day I die. I love every single minute of it. As soon as I finish it, I have to restart it straight again. I absolutely love it.
Now, I'm the same with any show that you like, you do rewatch it over and over again because, you love it so much. Are you one of those people too, not only just rewatching it, but knowing where a scene's coming, like you go, yep, that's where he's about to get hit in 3, 2, 1, boom. Are you like that as well? Memorize it all scene by scene?
That's me with Gossip Girl and Friends. When I showed my boyfriend Friends for the first time, he didn't like it the first time because I kept spoiling every single episode that was coming up, what was going to happen. But now he's hooked on it and does the same thing, watches it on repeat.
That's good. I'll be one like, if it's sport, I'll be like, okay, the scene, whatever you just spoiled, might be good, it might be funny, but like now I know it's coming. At least let me see it the first time.
Yeah, I've got a bit of problem. Like, not very good with surprises and waiting. I just like to tell everyone what's going on.
Hold it in. That's fair enough. If you could poach any player or players from another AFLW club to hypothetically, let's say, join Freo, so you put your list management coaching hat on, who would you want the Dockers girls to take from another club?
Oh, I'm just gonna stick it out and say that Freo have a great team. I'm not gonna diss any of my girls from Freo. I reckon. Oh, that's actually such a hard one. Oh, I would love Charlie from Richmond to come home. She was a Souths girl. She got drafted to Richmond. I would love for her to come home and play with the rest of the girls at Freo.
Yeah, good answer.
Selfishly.
That's fair enough. That's good for sure. Toughest opponent you've ever had to match up on in any competition? Does any name ring a bell or any team that it was against?
When I debuted in the preliminary final with East Freo, I was on Zippy Fisher, who everyone knows who Zippy is. She's such an amazing footballer, and just no faults in the game. She's just such an amazing player, such a hard person to be on. But yeah, she playing on her enhanced my footy. I reckon I just learnt a few things from just being on her, and I just reckon she's a great player and she's going to go really far with her footy.
That's very true. And I mean, we talk about names. Well, that's the perfect name to have all these giggles and gags and nicknames. If you're getting summer, autumn, winter, spring, well, Zippy's getting a lot of fish jokes. So
yeah, she could imagine.
Can relate to that. Now, mark or goal of the year, which one would you rather do and why?
Maybe goal of the year, because I just kicked my first goal yesterday in a pre-season match, my first ever goal. I've never actually kicked a goal in a WAFL game before, so a goal of the year would be a pretty great feeling.
Well done on that too. I mean, again, it's a pre-season game. It doesn't matter what level it is. It's still it's a goal. I know it's not an official goal if you want to count it for a season, but it's still something. How did you react to it? I know it's a pre-season game, but how did you react to it? It was obviously still a cool moment, regardless of the level or type of game it is.
Well, the coaches told me they could hear my celebration from the box, so it may have been a little bit loud.
What was the celebration?
I'm a bit of a screamer.
Okay.
Just a bit of a girly screamer.
It's the one. Good job. Any salute or anything like that? Anything in particular?
Well, I've always loved the punch in the air. I've always loved that one. I always told myself that was going to be my first one, but I couldn't actually believe that I actually kicked the goal, and I was like, that I forgot all about doing a proper celebration.
Just brought out whatever the hell came out.
Yeah.
Good. So have you got
a silly little dance?
Now there was a cricketer. I'm not sure if you've seen it, for the West Indies. When he got his first Test wicket only about 3 weeks ago, I think it was. I don't know if this is something you'd be able to pull off or even consider doing it, considering the risk of injury could happen. He did, backflip. He did like 3 backflips. He ran around in the circle, then it did 3 flips and around. You wouldn't be able to try that, or would you be able to do something like that?
I can back handspring and I can aerial, but haven't been able to backflip for quite a few years now. Lost the confidence to try.
That's fair enough. Have you got any celebrations in your back pocket or in the back of your mind that you're going to try and pull out this year if more goals happen?
Oh, definitely the punch of the air one. I just reckon that's such a classic. I just love it.
That's good. And I always get, honestly, the split answers every time Mark and goalie. I always get 50-50 answers because I know both are really good. For Marks, I know you could say, yeah, it's great, and you get if it's being filmed or recorded or people are taking photos, you can get a good profile picture or something like that. But then I always say, I still love the goal. You can still post that and you can whatever with that. It's pretty cool memory. Both are.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, speaking of goals still, if you were to best describe the goal you would want to get, it can be as unrealistic as you want. What type of goal would you want to get? Could it be a snap from the boundary? Would it be a check side opposite forward, a taunt after the siren, 50-plus metres out on the run through the midfield, a burst through there? What would you want it to be? If you could, in an ideal world, do it, what would it be?
Oh, it'd be a snap on the boundary after the siren to win the game. That would just be iconic, I reckon. It'd just be something that I'd bring up to all my family all the time. Anytime they try to say anything negative, I'm like, but did you do this?
Yes, very true. And I mean, I'd be the same in any sport, really. I mean, I'm not going to toot my own horn too much, but in cricket recently, I've never wanted to really make runs, and we in our team struggles, and we hadn't won a game for over 1,092 days. That's how long it'd been, and won 2 weeks prior. But then 2 weeks after, last week we were chasing 333 runs. Normally, if you chase 200, it's a great win. So we chased down that, and I had scored 62 runs off 30 balls, and I've never done that before, anywhere near it. And of course, won us the game in that last week with a wicket to go, so more nerves and everything. So I'm like that. If you were to do that with Mark Siren and brag about it, that's what I'm still doing in this phase right now. It's only 2 weeks ago. I'll still bring it up.
Oh, it'd be 10 years down the track and you'll still bring it up.
See, it was 7 years between drinks, as they say, between my last, only other 50, which was in juniors. So for 7 years, I've been using that. Well, now that's finally replaced. I can say this one. Change it up. That'll be
Love an upgrade.
Absolutely a big upgrade. And that other game we won, and this one was even better. Anyway, enough about me. So defenders. So do you feel that they deserve a bit more love to some degree? Because, obviously the midfielders, the Brownlow's directed towards mids, and even rucks are getting recognised these days, and obviously Coleman's for the forwards. Defenders, do they need their own official title, whatever you want to call it, but do they need one?
100%. I reckon they always say backline win premierships. Especially like even our backline, like some of the girls in our backline, probably all the girls in our backline are absolutely amazing. Like I get stuck ball watching just because I'm just in awe by the way that they're playing in the backline. Like they're just so amazing. That's why I do reckon backline do need an official medal or award for them. I reckon that they're the ones that put in the hard works and they're the ones that get slammed on if things don't go their way. Forwards can miss a goal, whatever. Backline do something wrong, and it seems like the end of the world. They have all the pressure on them. So I do reckon they deserve a bit more recognition than they probably get.
For sure, I agree. Now, obviously, you're only 19, so is there still that goals and aspirations to play AF or try and get onto an AFLW list at some point, or is that something that you're not really focused on, or is that something you still want to do or try and do?
There was a few years in my life where I just thought maybe that wasn't what I actually wanted to do, but last year, halfway through last year, it kind of clicked to me that this is actually what I want to do. I actually really do want to play AFLW, and that is something that I am striving for, and I'm just trying to get better every single day to try and get myself there. I know I've got a bit of catching up to do, but never know how it'll go, but fingers crossed always.
As they always say, never say never.
Never say never.
Right. Who's some teammates that you've been impressed by? They kind of fly under the radar a little bit and don't really get talked about as much as you feel that they should, or just in general, they might get talked about but not enough.
In my team?
Yeah.
One of our backline, Caitlin Pearsey, she has had 2 unbelievable games in the backline. Like I just see her everywhere. She's just such a great player. Just love everything about her. Lucy, she's a mid player. She does get recognition because she is such an amazing player. She just makes the midfield what it is. She's just such a good leader in the midfield as well. She just makes it such an environment out there to be around. Ella Matthews, she's a young player. She's just unreal. She's just everywhere. She's just so hungry for the ball. Like she has so much potential to go so far.
That's good. If you were stuck on a deserted island with teammates, who would you want to bring and not want to bring, and why?
I would love to bring Annie. She's just such a laugh. She's just such a character. Me and her, we can just be sitting doing nothing and just laughing for hours. It's just she's such a character.
Yeah.
I don't even know who I wouldn't want to bring. I have a problem that means that I'm the person that you wouldn't want to bring. If you can't figure out who you don't want to bring, is that me? Am I the problem?
No, I don't think so, because I think a lot of people I've asked these questions, they kind of tend towards not naming anyone anyway. So no, either a lot of people are the problem, or no, I don't think so. Well,
I reckon it could be Annalie either way. I reckon that we could get so bickery at each other after a while. We just have so much laugh that it's like we didn't get anything done, and we're like, oh well, we actually are stranded. What are you going to do about it? She's like, well, what are you going to do about it?
So you start off with the person you want to bring. This answer has been said before. So you start with someone that you want to bring with. Then after a certain amount of time, the more it drags, you're like, okay, now you're the one I don't want.
Yeah, I reckon that'd probably happen with anyone. You get stuck on an island long enough with them, and it's you two against the world. I reckon you're going to get sick of whoever it is.
Sure. Who would you say is the chatterbox at the club?
Oh, big chatterbox. Our captain is a big chatterbox. Obviously, she's the captain, but she loves to chat quite a bit. Who's a big chatterbox? Huey loves a good chat. She's always very chatty. Lots of the Rogers girls are such chatterboxes. They're so chatty. Ebony Grant, she's a big chatterbox, and she's got such a contagious laugh that every time she talks, she laughs, and it just brings everyone looking at her. What's she talking about now?
That's good. It's sometimes can be confusing there. If she's laughing at everything, you don't know if it's something okay or if it's something funny. Because if she's laughing all the time, you might get stumped. Hang on, so is this actually something funny she's saying, or is she actually saying something serious? What's going on?
It's usually always pretty fun and light. She she can be serious when she needs to be, but she's always just such a smile bringer to the group.
We like people like that. So who would you say is the loudest and quietest teammates?
Loudest teammates. I do think I am probably one of the loudest. Casey's also very loud. She can be very loud when she needs to be. A lot of the girls can be very loud when they need to be. Our rucks are very quiet. We have very quiet ruckmen. Zoe and Indy, they're very quiet girls. A lot of the girls are starting to come out their shell. Like, they started quiet, but the more comfortable they get, seeing a lot more voice come out of the girls, which is pretty good. But yeah.
That's very good. I mean, that's sometimes the way it starts. Something like they may always be loud, say per se, but then they don't want to start off as like that to kind of get on people's skins and might take it the wrong way. But start slow. Then the more you involve with people, the more you get to know people. Then you go from real low to boom, right up, just like that.
We've tried to build an atmosphere that, like, if anyone yells, if it doesn't even sound very positive, like, don't take anything to heart. Just try to listen to what they're trying to say to you and take the words, not how it spoke to you. Try listen to what everyone's trying to say to you. Everyone's there to try make everyone else better. Sometimes it doesn't come across in the best way, but that happens when you get frustrated. But I think we've kind of built a very strong atmosphere around that. No one likes to get very mad at each other, and I don't think we've had any problems with that so far. So fingers crossed it will stay that way.
Let's hope so. So what would you say some of your most prized possessions that you have?
Oh, my most prized possessions. Well, I won a 2022 signed Carlton Guernsey this year, and a 2023 signed ball and a signed Kudafiti's ball, all Carlton things, obviously. So they're all pretty prized possessions.
Good.
Ooh, I don't know. My car.
Yep.
My car's my prized possession. First car that I ever had, and it gets me to and from training every week. So it's a big prized possession of mine.
Good.
Yeah. Don't know.
So would a phone be one? Because to be honest, I feel like anyone that says at our ages, which is very common, that if a phone's not a key part of their life, I think they're lying.
It is based on, I guess phone always is. I can't go anywhere without Google Maps, so I have my phone with Google Maps. Even if I'm going 5 minutes down the road and I've been there 100 times, I'll still always put Google Maps on. Just never know, can't help it. Big photo taker as well. I take probably about 20 photos a day on my phone. So, phone would be a prized possession as well. It's got lots of memories in there.
That's good, and absolutely, that's why you take photos. Because you just never know sometimes how important some memories might be. So that's a big one. So you have a phone. Let's hypothetically speak here. So you've had a phone for 2 months. Let's say there's probably about, maybe 100 photos per week. So that's about 1,000 photos in 2 months.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but over time it'll keep building. Obviously, the more you have the same phone, the more it'll build up. Now, favorite food.
My favourite food will have to be tacos. I could have tacos every single day for the rest of my life. I absolutely love tacos, or lasagna.
Good answer, Sam.
I have been really, really, really loving steak at the moment. I've been having it almost every single day. but it's my lunchtime snack is a big steak, but tacos and lasagna are definitely my two favourite.
I'm glad to hear tacos a lot more because that's one of my favourites as well. I'm glad to hear more and more people say that because it originally didn't start off like that. Now probably, again, 10 people in the last 2 weeks have started to mention it in some form to hear that. Best dish you can cook, and if you're not a cook, would be something that's just nice and basic.
Yeah, I'm not a big cooker. Just that's probably I only learned how to cook a steak about 2 weeks ago, and it takes 3 minutes. So that's now my go-to. That's why I've been cooking it every day. It's 3 minutes, nice and easy. Just got to put it on one side, flip it on the other. So it's probably my go-to, a steak and salad to cook.
That's good. Food that you don't like.
I'm not a big fan of seafood, which everyone thinks is crazy growing up in Exmouth, but I do like fish. Some fish, like I like coral trout. Like I'm a fussy fish eater, and I do like prawns, but every other seafood I do not like at all. I think it's absolutely disgusting. Yeah. Seafood's
That's
probably it.
Yeah, I'm like that with seafood. I mean, I don't even really have any of it at all. And maybe calamari rings that, but that's not
Oh
real.
yeah, I love calamari.
That one's all right. But the rest, not a big fan of them. Probably wouldn't touch. Favorite takeaway place?
Ooh, Guzman Y Gomez, because I get the $3 spicy tacos.
That was your go-to order, so that's the answer.
Yep.
Good choice. And stick with the taco theme. I like it. Now, what are some quirks that people would say that you have that you may not want to admit to some people, but what would people say that you have that you don't like to admit?
I don't know.
Be safe.
Probably. Sorry?
Be safe.
I don't think I'm very quirky at all.
That's fair.
I don't know. Maybe I have a tendency to just make weird noises sometimes. Like at training, like when I'm cheering, like I'll just say random things, just change it up. Don't like to say the same things. The girls think I'm weird because I like to wear skirts to training. They do like to question me a little bit on that, but I don't know.
That's fair. Wear whatever you want. Who cares what they think? Celebrity crush.
Celebrity crush.
Or football crush. That
yeah,
can count.
It'd be Charlie Curnow.
That's exactly what I had footballers too, because I knew that him or not Blake Acres. Who was the other one you said? Jack Silvani.
Oh, Jack Silvani.
Yeah, I thought it'd be one of those.
Every time I see any of them, I go completely red. I can barely talk. Can't even say any words to them. I just get a little bit shy.
True. I mean, I can be very talkative with anyone, and even with players if I talk to them online. But then the moment I see them in person, it's like, okay, this is a different story now.
Yeah, such a different. Every time, like when I went to meet them, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be so confident. Like I'm gonna seem so cool. And the minute, because Charlie wasn't supposed to be there because that was when he did his knee injury. So I didn't even know that he was there, but he just came to watch his brother. So I wasn't expecting him to be there. And the minute I turned around and saw him, I just completely broke down. Couldn't say a word to him. Just hyperventilating, having a full panic attack. It was quite embarrassing, but I have had a few conversations with him since then. I just every single time he comes here, I just try to build that a little bit better. Try not freak out so much every single time, but it doesn't go very well.
No, very true. I mean, I've gotten better at it, but depends. If it's the same player, I suppose that will slowly be easier. But the more new or different players it is, it's like you're restarting all over again.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, how would you fancy yourself in front of the goals? The big sticks.
I've always been a bit terrified of the goals. Just it's always like I can kick, but as soon as there's the sticks there, then little less confident, but I spent a lot of time in the off season and the pre-season working on that, and just trying my best to be as confident around the goals as possible. And maybe that's what got me on the board yesterday. But yeah,
That's good. What would you say is your average distance that you would kick?
maybe 25, 25. Not very far. I don't have a big boot on me, but maybe 30, 35 with the wind.
No, I'm the exact same. The further you make me go out to kick, the accuracy goes out the window. That's just how. If you're in your zone, you're more worried about the accuracy, not the distance. But again, and then imagine being against the wind at your average distance. It just makes it harder as well.
Yeah, you start to overthink it a bit more, think that you have to kick that little bit harder, and that just makes the ball drop go wonky, your foot go wonky, everything go wonky. It just doesn't work out very well.
No, it definitely does not. I got one more question for you, Summer. So I really appreciate you coming on. If you could describe your best dream scenario for this entire football season, what would it be?
Probably just having like a great season with the girls, like everyone just being a star out there and just showing everyone what we're made of and that we deserve to be in the finals last year, grand final last year. And obviously would love to win a flag in my first proper year with league, but never know. But the girls look like they have so much potential, and everyone there, just everyone seems like a star. Everyone seems best and fairest worthy. And I reckon that's my ideal, not just having one or two stars out there, everyone broadcasting what they're made of and showing what we've got, and that's what's, fingers crossed, going to bring us a flag.
Sure. Your performance on screen today has been terrific, so I really appreciate you coming on. But then again, let's hope that transitions to on field. I really appreciate you coming on, Summer. All the best for the rest of the season. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.